Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's dive right into today's explainer, where we're going to perform a visual investigation of a pretty unique culinary tool. By just analyzing the shapes, the text, and the overall structural design elements we have, we are going to reverse engineer its entire purpose. It's honestly a perfect exercise in how form strictly follows function.
So, to get our minds primed, I want you to consider this question. What happens when you combine the piercing power of a meat tenderizer with the precision of a medical syringe? I know, it sounds like something straight out of a weird culinary sci-fi lab, doesn't it? But as we're about to see, merging that brutal, heavy-duty force with delicate, calibrated liquid delivery is the exact engineering puzzle this specific gadget was designed to solve.
All right, here's our visual evidence. We've got a disassembled tool resting right here on a light wooden surface, just waiting to be understood. Right off the bat, you'll probably notice it's broken down into two very distinct primary components. We aren't looking at a single solid object here, it's a system. And by studying these two pieces separately, we can actually start to piece together the larger narrative of how they're meant to interact with one another in the kitchen.
Okay, part one, the sauces injector revealed. Now, you've got to notice the stark contrast between these two halves. On the left side, we have this highly complex mechanism. It features a transparent reservoir, a thick white central base, and a frankly intimidating array of metal needles at the bottom. But then, contrast that with the right side. It's this rigid, almost skeletal-looking plastic plunger. So we've got the complex injection mechanism on one hand, and the simple driving force on the other. It's the classic dynamic of action and reaction. Moving right along to part two, deconstructing the plunger.
Let's direct our focus first to this seemingly simple right half of the device. I mean, it might look pretty basic compared to those needles, but it is the actual engine of this entire operation. Without it, the rest of the tool is totally useless. Look closely at the structural design here. Up at the top, we have an ergonomic T-shaped black handle. Now, why a T-shape? Well, because its form dictates a very firm downward pushing motion. You'd likely use the flat palm of your hand for maximum leverage. Below that is a white cross-shaped stem. And this is a brilliant bit of engineering. The cross shape provides immense structural rigidity, so it can withstand heavy downward pressure. But it actually uses way less plastic than a solid cylinder would, keeping the whole thing lightweight. Finally, check out the thick seal at the very bottom. That seal is perfectly sized to fit snugly into the transparent tube on the left, acting basically like a piston to force air or liquid downward.
Which brings us to part three, measuring the flavor. Now, that clear tube on the left isn't merely a funnel. It is a highly precise measurement reservoir. Just by looking at the printed markings, you can extract some solid data. The tube measures volume in both fluid ounces and milliliters. It increments from 1.5 fluid ounces up to a maximum capacity of 3 fluid ounces, which matches up perfectly right there to 90 milliliters. What does this tell us? It tells us the user needs to know exactly how much liquid flavor they're deploying. It's all about controlled culinary application, making absolutely sure you don't oversaturate or underflavor whatever you happen to be preparing.
All right, on to part four, the locking mechanism. If we guide our eye downward from that clear measurement tube, we hit the thick, white, cylindrical base of the main unit. Think of this as the command center for the mechanical action. And right on the front of this base, the mystery of our device's name is completely solved. It explicitly reads sauces injector. This firmly anchors our deduction about the tool's core purpose. It's designed to hold sauces in that top reservoir and inject them. But remember those metal needles at the bottom? Those aren't just for delivering liquid. They are thick, robust, and perfectly designed to physically sever and pierce tough meat fibers. So this tool actually tenderizes the meat structure while simultaneously delivering liquid marinades deep inside, entirely bypassing the hours it usually takes for traditional surface marinade to soak in. And this next part brilliantly illustrates a vital safety consideration by the designers. Look just above the printed name. You'll see a solid circle on the left, a bold cross on the right, and right below them on the bottom tier of the white base, a single vertical dash. This visual language represents a clever twist-to-lock safety feature. You literally just twist the base to align the vertical dash with either the circle to unlock it or the cross to lock it safely in place. When you have dozens of sharp, exposed metal needles meant for driving through tough muscle fibers, yeah, a locking safety mechanism isn't just a nice feature to have, it's an absolute necessity to protect you from accidental deployment when you're storing or cleaning the gadget.
Finally, part 5, putting it all together. Okay, so we've analyzed the individual parts, we understand the physics they imply, and now it's time to mentally synthesize the entire operation. The really crucial takeaway here is how piecing together our visual clues gives us a crystal clear 4-step instruction manual without needing a single piece of paper. Step 1, you pour your marinade into the clear tube utilizing those precise volume markings. Step 2, you insert that rigid plunger with the black handle into the top of the tube, creating a tight seal. Step 3, you grip the white base and twist it, aligning the vertical dash with a solid circle to disengage that safety lock. And finally, Step 4, utilizing the ergonomic T-handle, you press straight downward with your palm. This single action simultaneously drives the sharp needles deep into the meat to tenderize it, while the plunger forces the measured sauce directly through the needles and right into the newly created channels.
Let's take one last look at our visual evidence. By simply observing the physical attributes, the ergonomic handles, the pressure seals, the measurement markings, the locking symbols, and of course, those heavy-duty needles, we've completely decoded the anatomy of this machine. We started with a static image of 2 disconnected parts, and through pure visual deduction, we uncovered a highly efficient, dual-action culinary tool.
Which brings us to the most important question of all. Now that you intimately understand the mechanics of this sauces injector, bridging the gap between its engineered design and its real-world culinary application, with a precise 3-ounce capacity and that heavy-duty tenderizing power just waiting to be unlocked, what thick, challenging cut of meat would you choose to inject first? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this visual investigation today, and remember to keep looking closely at the design of the world around you.